It's 7:02. Neela, you want to take over?
Sure. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Neela.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Shall we start with Alden?
Okay, I really have no projects, artistic, creative projects these days. I'm just kind of, uh, I'm scrolling through my library and looking at books and thinking, because I have a limited amount of shelf space. I keep adding to it, and so as a result, I'm at that stage of pulling stuff out and saying, "Time for this book to go." So that's
Uh,
it's,
where does
Well,
it
your newsletters have been fine. Your
thank you.
Easter newsletter, Easter week newsletters, and then your daffodil. So you're still being creative. I wish we could look at your newsletters, but
Anyway, so I'm giving you guys a sneak peek of 9 books that have come off the shelves that I've said, I don't really need to look at these books again. A bunch of these may make their way to the club. But at least I'll give you a shot at what they are. The one on the left was a book I purchased years ago, thinking I was going to use it because I was going to make some great paintings with nudes in them, and I never got around to of using this book. Not that I haven't included nudes in my painting, but the book, for whatever it was, just never got used that much. And the same applies to the one on the right, Breaking Bounds, which is the photography of Lois Greenfield. And
Wow.
Wow. Lots of dancers jumping, in space in these combinations. And then
Ooh.
this, the Atlas of Early Man, which is basically a lot of timeline stuff. And I've cracked it maybe once or twice, and I've never even started to read it. So time for it to go. Then let's see, what else do we have here? Some photography. Dmitry Kessel, life photographer. I was there. Gigs that changed the world. Woohoo! Yeah. And a history of that Horizon history of Africa, which was published, I think, in 71 or so. And I got to think, this is a bunch of white guys writing what they think is the history of Africa. And so I've looked at it, I've scanned it, but I know that I'm just never going to get around to reading it. And then last but not least, the early work of Aubrey Beardsley, Flash Gordon.
I think I've got that book.
I think I have one.
I already asked Andy Hoffman if he would be interested in the Flash Gordon, and he already has some of it and is not. So it's definitely going to the club for some other artists to, take up. And if either of these other books are ones that appeal to any of you, and you could pick it up at the club, I'll be glad to bring it to the club at the opening, this coming week.
Oh, great.
Great.
Anyway,
You know that you can leave them on the table
Yep.
upstairs.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where they will go, or most of them probably will go at some point. So.
It's so nice to share books.
Yes.
Somebody always picks them up.
And I have so many at this point. It's kind of ridiculous. There are lots of books I'll never get around to looking at it with any thoroughness. So it's time to move the ones that I'm never going to spend, like the Flash Gordon. I scanned through it and I realized my comic book reading days are over as far as taking looking at the pictures and going after page. I said, no, the time is too precious now to get lost in something like that. So, and I've looked totally at the National Gallery of Art book at least a couple times, maybe more. And Beardsley was never one of my favorites of that particular period. I was more the Raphaelites, who were pretty much contemporaneous with him. And so his work is always just a little on the weirder side than I particularly enjoyed looking at with any depth. So anyway, I'll give you a flash of the others again.
Flash.
Photography, pretty much, although I suspect the history of Africa is a real combo of photography as well as, arts. And then, woohoo! Nudes or virtual nudes, Breaking Bounds, Early Man. That's it, folks.
Very
All
nice.
right.
Thanks, Alden.
Thanks, Alden.
Fun selection.
Yeah.
yeah.
It really is. Somebody will pick up one or two.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Bob, could you take that down for us?
Sure.
That would be great. Thanks.
Nice to leave
Janice?
books around.
Would you like to share?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure I heard my name. Let's do it. Okay. I don't know if I mentioned last week that I did a piece with colored tissue paper, and this is just paper that I ripped or cut, and just serendipitously arranged. And I had a lot of fun with it. It is not necessarily my best work, but I don't care.
Sorry, Janice, I like it a lot.
Thanks.
I'm wondering though, how big is it? A tiny piece or a big piece?
No, well,
And
it's a 12 by 16.
that's big.
So
And did
it's,
you glue on the paper or
yes, I did. I glued everything down.
I think it's
Twice.
gorgeous.
Looks like a map.
Doesn't it? I know.
Bird. It's got a bird.
I never thought of it as a map.
Yeah.
I thought of it as a sky and a lake and stuff like that.
Yeah. I see all those things. And the bird, yes, that I
Yeah,
came in at the last. So anyway, this is my work on paper, made of paper.
Right.
All right.
Is it in the show? Is it in the show?
Yes.
That we're going to
Yes, it will
Mhm.
be. Yes.
have? That's wonderful. That's very beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. But as I said, it was fun to do. I had a friend years and years and years ago who did tissue paper. I guess you'd call it mosaic. She made landscapes, but with tiny pieces that she would
Wow.
glue together, and they were magnificent. And I always thought, gee, that might be something I want to try. So there it is.
Oh,
Nice.
Very
And
nice.
Janice, I actually think it takes a lot of artistry to tear the paper the way you have torn it, because I can see if I did it, it would all be squares or triangles or something like that.
well,
So you've done it in a very gentle way, so it looks beautiful.
thank you.
Paper is a way of cutting sort of irregularly when you just sort of tear it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You almost have to have a ruler to get straight lines.
Yes, indeed.
I-
Okay.
I see two underwater creatures, one at the top right and one at the bottom left. They look like jellyfish or something.
Right. Well, in my head, they were blossoms,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make any sense. And
That's
then
fine.
I just threw those two little silver ribbons on. They are also made of paper. So,
That gives it a very three-dimensional effect.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes, it does. Yes.
different.
So is it under? No, it's not under glass then.
Yeah. Well, it's under plastic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in a frame and then, a sheet of plastic over it, which is nice because I can't do that with pastel. And everything weighs twice as much when you have glass. So
Yes.
it's good. Okay, that's it. Bye.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice, Janice.
Thank you, everybody.
Let's see.
Hey, Andy.
Where's Andy? Oh, hi, Andy. You snuck in. Didn't see you.
Mhm.
Walcott, would you like to share?
Okay, I'll give something. Let me see. All right. Kim and I took this picture together. I've forgotten what Kim's.
Oh,
All I've got
Mine is
tonight
pink.
for
Mine is
everybody
pink.
is. All I've got is just scraps tonight, I'm afraid. But anyway,
So
that's
scrap.
that one's mine. And let me see if I can get this thing full. There we are.
Beautiful.
And
Uh-huh.
I don't
Very
know
dramatic, Walcott.
whether that's, I don't know whether, well, that's really not minimalist, is it? The minimalist has got
Not quite.
No.
it's too much color. Yeah, but it's I don't know what you would call it, but anyway, there it is.
Very nice.
Notice that the glass of the sunglasses is very close to the black of the head.
Yeah,
And I
And the lips.
suspect, yeah, that's true. I suspect that was an artifact of the picture taking process, or was it that way on the wall?
no idea. I think it was a lot drabber on the wall. I think if you looked at the reality of the wall, it would be a lot less punch, a lot more burned out by the sun and everything else.
Yeah.
Now that's a storefront.
Oh.
That's a good shot.
That's
Well.
another thing that I took. Kim and I were out. It was done that evening, I think.
I didn't see anything like that, Walcott, because that's great. I never saw that. I mean, I didn't see it.
It was. I think you tried to take a picture of it, but the cell phone wasn't going to do it.
Okay.
And right at my back, a few weeks ago, I showed a piece that was a wall plaque of embedded glass, colorful glass with a couple of borders, was right behind me on that thing. So anyway, that's my contribution to color, and I particularly like
Love
the
that.
And
reflection off the automobile down the bottom.
There is?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's what that is. So it's reflected in the automobile.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
a reflection.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
reflection.
Oh, that's really something.
Bounced off the automobile there.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
My next is, I suppose, an abstract of some,
Wow.
Wow.
and
You finally wowed us completely. You knocked us on our feet.
another storefront window.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
And you adjusted it in Photoshop to get those
yes, I
colors?
did. That's the original.
Oh my
Ah.
gosh. Okay. All right. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That
fabulous.
changes it
Wow.
a lot. That's beautiful.
Okay.
Makes it into complete abstract
Oh, it's
thing.
fab.
And
Yeah.
I like it.
Messed around with it. I like fooling around. So this
Nice.
is my roof in the evening. Sunset
Nice.
was pretty. The
Nice.
light was nice, and my roof is flat. It's a terraza, just like those other roofs that you're looking at. It's all flat, and it's not a particularly inspiring view, but it's got its nooks and crannies, and it's got its texture, and it's got its things. And I thought sunset was pretty.
I
Yes.
think the light is very, very good. It's very nice. It's very unusual.
And
Yeah, it's subdued.
That looking north,
Yeah.
Walcott.
that is looking northish, yes, northwest
Sunset is happening just to the
is
left.
what that is what where that. In
Uh-huh.
fact,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So-
nice how nice how
Anyway.
that one wall picks up the sunset color.
Yeah.
Well, they all do a
Yes.
little bit.
Of course, I helped it out a bit too, quite frankly.
Well, that's
But
okay.
that's no,
Don't
I
tell
can't.
us secrets.
I
Yeah,
can't
that's-
leave anything alone.
Extreme makeover, so it still has very much the sense that it's a straight shot.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it
well,
does.
sometimes I try to do that, sometimes not, because that's what I made out of it when I started fooling around with it.
That's nice also.
Wow.
That's
Interesting.
messing around. I found a new button on Photoshop, basically.
Ooh, dangerous.
Yet another button somewhere.
Good button.
Anyway, I thought that was fun,
Yeah.
sort of amusing. And
Nice.
there's a moon for all of them.
Oh, I like that composition.
Yeah.
Exactly
Very
what I was
much.
going to say.
Yeah, that's really pleasing.
It
Yeah.
is.
That's an
It
A
is.
plus composition.
All right, thank you. Anyway, that's a moon for Alden.
I've already screenshot it. Thank you.
Yeah.
very much.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, I'm all done here. So I'm all done.
Okay.
I'm gonna just
I'm
close
all-
there. This background that I've got, I just discovered him this evening. Andriy Shumsky is a Ukrainian, and he's got some works I think are just marvelous. He's pretty modern too.
Nice.
Good.
I'll look him up tonight. Shumsky, you say Shumsky.
Yeah, let me go back to sharing here for a second.
I'll write it
because
down because I sometimes will forget.
I did try to. No, that's not it.
Nice.
I'm
Oh, that's
trying-
nice. Yeah, I like that. Shumsky.
Shumsky, yeah.
All right. Give me something beautiful to look at tonight.
SHUMSKIW. No, that's not going to work.
Shemsky.
Shumsky.
Shumsky, yeah.
He seems to have some of the looseness of, what was it, Sorolla, which you would include?
Yeah, this piece is a Sorolla-esque piece.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to figure out how to get out of this and get into something.
Do you want me to shut you
Here we
down?
are.
Hmm.
No, that wasn't it. Okay. So anyway, never mind. I give up.
All right.
I thought I had him up on a website here somewhere, but never mind.
I can look it up.
Andriy, Andriy Shumsky,
Okay.
SHUMSKIY.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'll look it up tonight.
Yeah, I thought it was very nice.
It is very nice. Thank you very much for finding it.
And his style is not all this. He's got some other paintings that are really quite different, but just beautiful.
Contemporary or mid 20th century?
I think I think I saw the date 1977 in there somewhere.
Oh, really very contemporary.
So
It's nice.
anyway,
Spring.
Thanks, Walcott. That's really
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Let's see. Sarah, would you like to share anything?
Yeah, I have something. First I have to get it up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
just want you to
Now,
understand.
this is a couple years ago, I went to art camp at the Horticultural Society. And in fact, one of the plastic members was a teacher there, Bob, I forget his last name, but it was a wonderful experience. And I took a collage class, and this was the cut paper collage that I did that summer.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's great.
I love
Very
it.
dramatic.
I
And
love the colors.
yeah, and it takes a while to sort of know what it is about. And then once you get it, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
What
And
happened?
then unusual treatment of the face,
Mm.
of the lips.
She's wearing a veil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's her face.
Okay.
That's her face. Good for you, Sarah.
It can be whatever you want it to be, actually.
Yeah.
It's obvious that it's a face with a beautiful blue all around it, like a great scarf.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a wonderful place to experiment, and that was, we went there a couple summers in a row, and it was a wonderful experience. If they're still having it, I certainly would recommend it to people. The art camp at the Horticultural Society, the city actually does it.
Is that the one at 20th and Arch?
I forget. I mean, it's a long day. It can be a week or 2 weeks. It is a commitment, but it was a glorious commitment for both of us at that time.
Nice. Very nice.
And I'm going to take her down. You can say goodbye to her.
Tonight,
Oh, wait.
there's a contrast of colors there too that is unusual. That yellow against the blue.
Yes, yes.
I have one more. I hope this isn't a repeat from last week. I still did some work on the fading daffodils this week. I mean, tulips. And they really change shapes. And so this was, I threw them out today. Today was, I just felt it would be a healthy thing to throw them out. And I have so many pictures of them, so I wanted to share this one. And you see it close up.
I believe this is gorgeous, absolutely stunning. Sarah, your whole series of these tulips and whatever, they're absolutely stunning. Not as pictures of flowers, but as art, you know?
Am I saying this right? Where the one petal is so large that it's overlapping the main structure of the flower. Is that how that goes? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what you see is what was there. So,
sure.
You know, I didn't add anything or take away anything. I just went in with my camera to different angles. And so that's how it is. Because I really photographed so many of these. And
it's really nice. I like how the subject is in focus and then the background is out of focus. I mean, that's a really nice thing that you can do with the camera.
Yeah.
To have a very vague background to make the foreground jump out.
Yeah.
So that's it for me today, folks. Thank you.
Really nice.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Nice.
Shall we go to Don?
Okay. So this is the watercolor I showed you last week.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And this is it now. So that's like 2 more passes of glazes over the colors.
Looks
more
a lot.
Yeah, I think this is somehow nicer. I don't know why.
Yeah, it has more volume, I think.
To warmth to the base there. Yeah.
And more detail in the eye.
Maybe, yeah.
Eye's confusing. You know, I was thinking of you, Bob. I did this from a picture that my neighbor sent me. But she has a Samsung phone. So the image I got in the text message was very grainy. That's what the Apple lawsuit is about, is that if there's different manufacturers, you can't send pictures. You can send the pictures, they're just not high quality.
Apple does
that bird is looking at us.
Really?
Indeed.
And I did a little fun with
oh, that's nice.
Splash paint.
Great.
So it's similar to working with acrylics. I'm going to do some more with that.
What kind of paint did you say this was? Don?
Gouache.
Oh, okay.
It's
Gouache?
a water-based paint, but it dries very fast, but it still lifts up like watercolors.
Gotcha.
Wash is great. Very flexible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's got a very different feel from the watercolors, so I've got to
Does.
change
Mhm.
Don,
my
would you
habits.
describe this as an abstract?
Yeah, I was just messing with the paints, to tell you the truth.
Because
Little
I like it. I
palette.
mean, I see it as an abstract. It's very, very nice.
Yeah, I see it as an abstract too. And
Mhm.
Thanks.
wonderful thing of colors. You just
Color experiment.
love the colors.
And it has a touch of Florida to it in the
Yeah.
choice of colors.
It does.
Yes.
Yes, definitely, yes.
It's
There's a
in
touch
the
of Florida
intensity
for
of
you.
the colors and the saturation and intensity.
Oh,
Mm.
I don't know if I showed you this before. I did it a
Nice.
couple years
Oh
ago.
my
No.
goodness
Picture
gracious.
of my
oh, this
backyard.
is great.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This is the view from my deck.
Ambitious.
Thanks. It's pretty big. It's 3 feet long.
Ooh, 3 feet.
Oh.
Like, wow. That is ambitious.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, you know, if you wanted to put it into the members' metal show,
Yes,
it
yes,
would fit. It would fit.
yes.
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But Don, do you have space in your
Beautiful.
house to kind of work on something that big? I mean, because I don't.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I have a screen room, so I had
Uh-huh.
it set up out there. So that's what I have for this week.
That is very
That's
ambitious.
a lot of work.
That's-
Very
Beautiful.
nice.
All right.
See the first.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Don.
Yes, thank you, Don.
Kim, would you like to share?
I would, thank you. So I always have a theme, and my theme this week is simply here, there, and everywhere. So let's see. Here we go. Now, when I say here, there, and everywhere, let's start with here.
Yes.
This is in Philadelphia. This is in Philadelphia, right? Does anyone know where it is?
I haven't a clue.
No, no.
Okay, Janice, I swear, as I was crossing the street, I so thought of you.
Oh,
But what made me take the shot, because I pass this church all the time, was the magnolia. Because every spring it has this beautiful, beautiful magnolia. And I thought, this is it. I'm taking this shot for Janice. Janice, this is your shot. This is for you.
I thank you very much. It's wonderful. And
Yeah.
the texture also.
yeah.
I mean, these look like, I can't point. They look like brushstrokes.
Yeah, but just
Right, right. Well, that's the style transfer. I have to will say that I don't only do style transfer, but this was style transfer. Although
Nicely
the
done.
the original also looks very, very nice, but this makes it a little bit crazier, a little bit, as you said, crazier.
The style transfers are really a lot of fun. I'm starting to explore them myself more.
It is fun, and you don't know what you're going to get, really.
Yeah.
So you just have to experiment with it, I guess, like everything else.
Well,
Okay, guys.
Photoshop gives you some controls over the thing, so you can make some considerable changes in the thing in a number of parameters. Really change the look in Photoshop. So
Yeah, I think you're very adventurous with your style transfer. Well,
that's
God
really
bless you with that.
fun to diddle with it. So you don't have to just take what you get. You can
Right.
and
That's true.
if you don't like the style, then you get somebody else's style. Unfortunately, they just don't have a big library of styles at this point, but I think they'll probably add to it.
Yep.
I think they've got like 9 or something like that.
Okay. So
you have the
just
original to this one to show.
I don't have the original to show because I limited myself to 3 shots. So my 3 shots
Yay,
are
Kim.
So my next one is, well, I said it was here, there, and everywhere. So the there is Genoa, and it's an alleyway. And so this is a Genoa alleyway, and it doesn't really have any specific style transfer. It's just a black and white with a spot color of the
That's
graffiti.
great. Love it.
Very nice,
Yeah.
Kim.
Like
Nice.
It's
like a
res-
color joke.
yeah, it's restrained but playful.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I was hoping for.
The lines are so sharp. I think that it's just the upper part of the building there looks like it's just an etching of some sort.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yes.
Doesn't
Yes.
Really, it's got, in fact, the whole thing has a feeling of a drawing almost.
Well, you
It
see
does.
you see the other side of it. I actually have a different shot of a different alley, taken at a different night. And this is unusual in the type of the architecture, this right-hand thing. So that's what made me take the shot, because it is unusual, actually. Okay, so moving on is my third shot. Here, there, and everywhere. This one is in Buenos Aires. And Janice, you know I don't do still life, so this is my version of a still life. And again, it's not style transfer.
Oh.
Wow. Punch.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
Let me tell you, Walcott, where this is, because you'll know. It's on Avenida Santa Fe, and it was a furniture store, huge furniture store on this thing called Avenida Santa Fe. And I was just staring at it, and I thought, what can I do with it? And so this is a teeny tiny, tiny little part of it as I saw it artistically.
It's fabulous. I love
It
the
is.
reflection in the glass too. The
Yes.
punch
Yeah.
of the red and the reflection in the glass. It's just
And I like the verticality of the piece, you know, including the wall behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just very in keeping with each other.
In the bed.
it's fun to do that. I guess in the city you get more opportunities with store windows than you do.
Yes.
with other
Yes.
things.
No, that's true. I was very fortunate. But literally that night I could see nothing. And all I saw was this big furniture store. So I thought, well, I got to see, let me see what I can do. And that's what I did. Okie
Good.
doke. Thanks a bunch.
Thanks,
Thank
Kim.
you, Kim.
Thanks,
That
Kim.
was great. Andy, would you like to go?
A little bit torn as to what to show. Would you like to see movie night posters or my mother teaching? I suppose you see movie night posters at the club anyway, so we could go to with mother teaching.
Yeah, let's do your mother teaching.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was a tough
Yeah.
choice, but
She's
Laurel.
okay. Pressing button. Yep, there you go. All right. You see this? This is the episode I'm working on now. This is episode 21. Right. So we went to the public library where these students who were majoring in fashion design somehow.
Oh, wow.
I'm still not quite clear on it, but they asked her to talk to these students, so she did. I'm not entirely sure what the best bits are. I'm still kind of working on it, but this is how it starts. This is how it goes.
When you walk into a strange group, the first thing they see is how you look, and they judge you by that. They don't mean to. There's plenty of people that say you shouldn't judge somebody by what they wear, but the truth is, how are you going to judge somebody, right? Now, you've all been taking these courses, and I was on the computer this morning looking to see what you've been studying, and it's a very impressive list of courses you've been taking, all right? So I assume that you all know how to make your own clothing, and if you want to know, I'm wearing clothing I've made. Back during the First and Second World War, the United States was at war, but not at war here. You're looking strange. We were at war, but nobody was fighting in the United States. Okay, thank goodness. All right, so the army and people of the industry needed clothes manufactured, all right? And many of the countries are down. They can't do anything because they've got war going on. So what happened was the apparel industry sent orders out to small manufacturing companies in the United States to make clothing. And these small manufacturing companies were making other products using low-level engineering procedures. And they are the ones who developed the production methods now used globally throughout the apparel industry. That's who did it.
Wow.
But in the industry, and I found this out from just being in the industry, almost nobody knows how the whole thing works because it's line assembly. Now, line assembly was actually developed on the farms in this country. You sit here, I grew up on a tomato farm, in case you want to know. Okay, they sit here, 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 and this one does this, and this, and you get to the end of the line, and you've got the asparagus roots packed and ready to sell people. Okay, that's how it works. All right, so Ford started this, and we have the assembly line procedure. It's extremely proficient as long as the factories are operating. But when the factories go offshore, boom, you see what's happened in Philadelphia. And the women I had been working with, many of them, I'm looking at you and thinking some of them may have been your mothers or your grandmothers, all right? They knew how to set sleeves or how to set pockets or whatever, but they didn't know how the whole thing worked. So what happened was, boom, gone was the income that they needed to pay their mortgages and to raise their children and to buy the things they needed. We all know that it's expensive when you go to buy the food at the grocery store. Gone. And I was horrified by all this. I went home to a very comfortable home in the suburbs with a husband who was in the space program and making very good money. But all I could think about was the women I had worked with on the factory line. And I was very, very concerned about them. The city did nothing, and you can see the devastation now in the city. That's where we are. All right?
Different types of piecework.
Piecework, yeah. You do piecework. This is what they were doing on the factory line. The last place I worked, I was right out on the factory floor. I was a table, probably almost the length of this whole room, and they had cutters, and then I was down on one end. And then if anything went wrong with the factory, I was right on the factory to begin with. I ran out on the floor and corrected it, and then went back to my job, okay? Now, the reason we're here today, what I have agreed to do, is to talk about color analysis, all right? Have any of you ever been color analyzed? Anybody? No? No? Guess what? We're going to do it now. So come on up here, guy. You're the guinea pig first off. Okay. And we're going to sit you so you can see yourself in the mirror. And all of you are going to decide which colors look best on me. Remember, I'm not a color analyst. I need all of your help. So I want comments from all of you. Let's decide whether or not she looks better in silver or gold jewelry. Here's silver. Now, some people look good in both. It's not a matter of one or the other. Which do you think looks better? Gold. All right? All right, so if gold looks the best on her, when you look at your sheets, you'll see that there are two seasons that share golden. All right? Golden is spring and fall. See that? So she's either spring or fall.
Okay, so this goes on and on. Mm-hmm. And she's got a number of students who she brings up and tries color on them.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I think she's very dynamic.
Yeah, these days, if we had a war with China, we'd outsource the work, all this piecework to China to do it.
I think a problem I'm running into is that this camera, I'm not looking at this camera. I've got the other camera. So I'm not noticing that this person's hood is in focus, so they aren't.
Oh.
It's like, and that's throughout the whole thing. It's like, oh man. So, you know, I can only look at one camera at a time. So, and besides, this camera is a very small monitor. I wouldn't have noticed anyway. But, you know, what can you do? So, but I think it's okay. I think it's good because I've got enough of the close-ups with the other camera.
Mm-hmm. So. I think so.
It's a very interesting content. I mean, the content's very interesting. It just, you don't notice the focus.
No, I agree.
Oh, good. Okay, well, that's good. This is the ending on
it. Very interesting. Very.
All right, is there anybody we missed? I don't think we did. We did everybody. Be in touch with me, email me, you got my information, I want to hear from you. Good luck to you in your careers. Let me know how you do.
Thank you.
I understand you're making an announcement, so I'll be locked in for a while. So we'll be here for a while.
Okay, I'll come back. Thank you.
Oh, please send it to me.
Oh,
Yeah, we're getting video too.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm showing Cam about almost 2.5 months from now, you're gonna be on TV, okay?
Thank you.
And Andy, I just wanted to say that your mother is very dynamic in the classroom, and she's facing what I used to face is when you're the teacher, you're the big person in the room because everybody else is sitting down. But as you noticed, when they all got up, they were so big compared to your mother.
Yes, because it's true. Yeah. Okay, so I mean that's it. I'm still working on it, but you know, it's pretty straightforward. You know, one kid after another, and that's the episode.
You had different colors in that. What is it? Premiere, Adobe Premiere that you're using there.
Sure.
The colors are what? You had green and blue and.
Well, I mean, what exactly are you referring to?
I was looking at the under the timeline of the film on the.
Oh, well, that's me coloring things to identify what's what. Here, I can show you. Just to answer your question. Let's see.
I was just wondering whether there were different clips or different cameras or.
No, it's different students. I mean, I can change things to different colors depending on how I want to organize things, right? Like purple here, that's the ending, right? This bit of green here is this student, right? So that's all that green. And this blue area, you know, if you look down here, just to emphasize, there you go. Can I make this bigger? Yeah, I can. Sort of. So, yeah, and it's just how I separate out the different sections. You know, like the introduction, I set blue. You know, or what did I do it? I think I'm alternating blue, green, blue, green. It's just to separate the different sections. And so that I can kind of tell, like, this student, right, is getting a lot more time than this other student, so I can trim that down a little bit. That sort of thing. It's just so I can find things, really.
Yeah.
I think it's a great system.
Fabulous.
This purple bit in here is a mini speech. Let's see. So I wanted to make sure I didn't lose track of that. That goes.
Colors really have a psychological effect on you, which is why it's important for you to know what colors to wear when you go to an interview, which is what some of you are going to be doing. You're starting your lives now. You need to be dressed for the future, and the future that you want is a future that's successful. And the right colors will help you get there. It won't get you all the way, but it will open a lot of doors. Okay, you right there, your turn. Yes. You guys, come on up.
So if I want to find that little speech and move it someplace else, I can find it easily because I've marked it purple.
That's fabulous. It only takes 600 years to learn how to use that program.
It's a hell of a learning curve. Yeah, especially like with video. I've had to learn how audio works. I have to learn how to get the camera to work, how the editing works. You know, it's all this different software. I just recently bought this thing. This is for music stuff, right? And you'd think it'd be simple enough. You plug it in and you press the keys and music comes out. No, not at all. I plug it in, I press the keys and all sorts of different buttons and lights are going off and I have no idea how to use it. So now I have to take lessons.
It's your toy.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Well, if he has the time.
Yeah. And I don't play piano or anything like that. What this thing does is it just makes synthesized noises, you know, and you just put them in order and it makes a little tune. It's just to create enough music that I can stick into little scenes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The sound in that linoleum floor high room, it had a little reverb.
Yeah.
It was difficult. I don't know if there's an answer.
There is sort of, I mean, and I'm going to get back into it because, I mean, in one of the early episodes, I tried this. It's lavalier mics. And lavalier mics
Oh, yeah.
are what the newscasters wear. When you watch the news, they've all got the little microphone pinned to it. And then the wire goes to a device in the pocket, which sends a signal to the actual recording device. And we tried that in an early episode, and then it was working okay, except you could hear it scratching against my mother's skin. She's trying to conceal it, and then she'd use the big scissors, and it would go shlonk, shlonk, shlonk. And she drops a ruler on the table and just bang. The microphone just picks up every darn thing. So I stopped using it, but for a situation like this, it would be ideal. So I'm going to get into using that again. I just can't use it when she's using the equipment because it's just too loud.
And I also was curious to see a close-up of the posters that were on the table. That would have been an interesting sidelight.
That's an interesting thing because she didn't get to that. She wanted to. She tried at the very end. She tried to race through it as quickly as she could, and it didn't make for, it wasn't great. So I kind of cut it out. But it was something that she meant to get to, and it just didn't happen. They're really just different kinds of hairstyles, different kinds of clothing styles, that sort of thing. So maybe we'll do that in another episode, I guess. But I've taken up enough time.
Quite fascinating.
It's all so interesting.
Good luck with it.
Yeah. So, well, we've done more than 20 episodes at this point, which is good. And we're talking about doing online courses. We're probably a little bit far away from that, but if you want to make a profit on this stuff, one way to do it would be to have her just teach classes directly into the camera, and people can sign up, become a member, and take her classes online, which would be great. But it's a heck of a lot of work, and so we're looking into various things.
Good. Would it be possible to link up with a college which can give accreditation then to these courses that your mother could run as a course?
Oh, there's an idea.
Yeah, and she's taught at various colleges before. It's a tricky kind of a thing, So, but we're looking at possibilities. But that would be great. Sorry. Who's next? I'm done.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
Yes, thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's always helpful. You guys, your feedback is terrific. It's very inspiring.
Oh, I like feeling like
Yeah.
I help out.
Oh, great.
It's an interesting concept that you have, and she's so much fun to listen to.
Oh yeah, she's
Very
great.
dynamic. Yeah.
I'm finding learning all this stuff with how to make videos. It's no matter how much you have to have something interesting in front of the camera. That's kind of what makes or breaks it. If you have all the skills and what's in front of the camera is boring, then it doesn't matter. So it's nice that when the pandemic came along, our interests crashed into each other. We've been doing it ever since.
Things an utter bore, but really beautifully done.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Oh, your mom is lucky.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, has her own TV show.
Good content.
Okay. Bob, would you like to share?
Sure. I just have one thing this week. My Easter image. It's of course a digital collage. Different styles. It's 3 girls at crucifixion. Very different styles. 2 of them are cartoon, and one of them is like a fashion Easter Sunday dress-up picture. The two pictures are down here. The cartoon, I don't understand what the joke is, but I thought that they were strong images. And let me go in a little bit for a little detail. So this is what the detail is. And I liked the colors were not very Easterish, but that's just how they came out. So that's what I have.
Fascinating how her face was constructed there.
Yes.
Out of those brown lines and shading.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a button I discovered in Photoshop. Actually in GIMP. Okay, that's all I have for this week.
Good job.
Is
would you say are
AI
your
still having trouble with fingers and hands?
Yeah, but it still is. But it's developing so fast that I suspect that'll go away.
Yeah, I hope so.
I haven't been working much with AI this time.
Very nice. Thanks, Bob. I guess we can go to art news.
Well,
All right.
Yeah, what about you?
Oh, this week was a little crazy. I have some work in a show in Rehoboth, Delaware, at the Art Center.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I got things shipped down there, and that's what I worked on.
Next
week, I'll show you something.
You can show the dog. There we are.
He loves that.
Aw.
So,
And
all
he
right.
said why.
Art news for April 2nd.
Can I just say hello to Mike? Hi, Mike.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's somewhere.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm watching you. I'm
Mike,
watching,
how's your cold? How's your cold that you had
and
last
I'm
week?
and I'm making a lot of notes. So when I come back next week, look out.
Oh,
Great.
Uh-oh.
I'm enjoying it very much. Thank you.
Great, Mike.
We look forward to what you come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do I.
Look forward to
I say that every time I go into the bathroom. Sorry.
All right.
Okay.
Art news for April 2nd. Let's see, the main, I start out with this is Kathy Kolwitz.
Oh, yes.
An amazing craftsman, and she suffered she suffered a lot, and she was a refugee, and anyway, there's a new show opening of her work in New York, just opened yesterday.
Ooh. Oh.
And here's
wow.
And this touches me. I mean, she really caught the anguish of her time.
Ooh.
And then this is her son was killed in the war, and she built she found where his gravesite was and did these statues. There's a little park behind it with his grave. I never knew she did sculpture.
I didn't either.
Oh, interesting.
All right. Anyway, I honor her, and you don't see enough of her.
She really
This is-
captures emotion.
Yeah. This is Richard Serra, who did these monumental, huge pieces. Actually, there's kind of funny, this one piece, he did it in Paris, in Versailles, and the French people hated it.
Understandably.
There's a guy called Solange who does black and white.
Okay, I got to get back to the beginning here.
Well, I like this.
Yeah, I know. I like the one before that.
Oh, yeah.
That's Kathy.
All right, so we're going back to Richard Serra. He produced very nice environments.
Yeah.
I'm kind of not fond of his work myself, but with people in them, they're kind of impressive. All right, and he just died.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
At age 85.
Oh.
All right. Here is, her name is Beatrice Cumming, and she died like 50 years ago. She's having a show. They call her the Connecticut Precisionist. And it's like Charles DeMuth. I'm going to try an experiment here. I'm going to show you her catalog. So I'm going to step out and do another screen share to another window. All right, so this is Beatrice Cummings' catalog, and I just think it's worth looking at to get a sense of a lifetime of art.
Whoa.
Precisionist.
Charles Sheeler was.
Yes.
There was a period in probably the 30s and 40s when things were
beautiful,
precise.
Wow.
Agreed. Yeah, I see Sheila.
If you did those bridges, you remember the bridges in La Boca? That would be precisionist art.
Beautiful.
I bet the one on the right is later. But
machinery was one of their, yeah.
Okay, I wanted you to show her that's also a beautiful catalog that I wanted to show you. But I'm going to go back to my other screen. And next we have, this is a show of two women in California, very different styles, but they're in the same show. This woman is called, I can't quite read her name.
I like it very much. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I like that piece, yeah.
What's her name?
Filigree.
Yeah. Very much a San Francisco artist, and this is the artist she's exhibiting with, Diane Tremenka. And this is another one by Tremenka. And this is the
that's
the
gorgeous.
shadows.
Painting. Wow.
Fantastic.
Incredible.
To find an ugly thing like a fire escape and make it beautiful, I think is an enormous undertaking.
And these are paintings. Okay, so that was Lynette Cook and Diane Tremaine. All right, here's an odd image. It sort of got me thinking. April is Autism Awareness Month. And one of these magazines had a series of pictures. Now, I don't know exactly why this is autistic. I don't know what it means by that, but it has a quality to it that I just wanted to show you guys.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
The photographer was autistic? Is that
The artist is, it's said to be an autistic image. I don't have the biography of the artist.
Huh, that's interesting.
Well, it
And
reminds me.
there were several others, and I wanted to bring them in, but I couldn't explain them, so I didn't bring them in.
There are no people in it, and it's focused on the oranges. And the world is, it's like a world without, it's a bit surreal without, it feels like a world that
Yeah, it has an
isn't-
Edward Hopper quality, but it doesn't have the surrealism of Edward Hopper.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like it's a very isolated world.
Right. It's a lonely world. It's a lonely world. Looking out at the world going by.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hazy in the
I think there
distance.
is
Well
it's all
said.
hazy.
Yeah.
But not unhappy.
Right.
This person's not miserable. They're just contentedly looking out the window.
Yes,
Maybe a
it's a
melancholy.
beautiful view.
They're just neutral.
Yeah.
It's just a world
Without people.
as though with no people in it at all.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. This is a Italian photographer by the name of Franco Fontana.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that a few years ago. You remember, Bob?
Yes.
Franco
I
Fontana.
remember.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
He does like architectural stuff that reminds me of some of what Kim.
Minimalism.
Yeah.
I loved his work, and he does do landscapes as well in that same style.
Wow.
I think that's gorgeous. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, it really is nice.
Adriana,
All right.
These are
And
paintings or photographs?
these are photographs.
Oh, these are photographs.
Yeah, I thought they were
Yes.
paintings. Okay.
I did too.
Who
Yeah.
did the squares?
That's incredible.
I just think he's amazing. I think that's amazing.
Wow.
All right. He's a specialist in architectural color, they say.
Architectural
Okay,
color.
here's another artist that captured my eye. Let's get a little further.
I'm totally blown away by that stuff.
Yeah.
I can see the connection to you, Kim.
Can you really?
Yes.
All right, this is Lucy McKenzie. And this picture is 3 inches high by 6 inches wide. And it's done in pencil, colored pencil.
Wow.
I'm just amazed by that.
Beautiful.
And another image she did that is somewhat less, well, this is a painting she did.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
It's 6 feet, it's 6 inches by 4 inches.
That's a lot of patience.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
And you sort of want
Tiny brush.
to think, why?
Why?
You know,
Right.
but it's a beautiful thing. And
Unique.
here's another one she did. That is just a bunch of scraps in a skillet.
So this is dimensional. This is not a photograph, or is the photograph rather than the painting? Is that correct?
It is a painting.
It was a colored pencil?
Let's see. Let me.
I'm lost.
Let me blow it up to see the
Oh, these are the same artist.
description.
Huh.
All right. Oil on board.
Wow.
5.5 by 5.
Jealous.
Wow. That's amazing.
Again, remarkably small.
Yeah.
Just
Anyway,
goes to show you.
Yeah, my gosh.
Yeah.
and that is art news for
I think
April
you
2nd.
really did a
Wonderful.
fabulous job
Very
today.
nice.
Really, really showed some beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. That was a
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful art news.
Yeah, it was.
Thank
really.
you. Thank you.
Really.
Really
Agreed.
good.
Yeah,
Agreed.
really.
Before art news closes, I'll bring this up because I read this just before tonight's session. Have any of you heard about, excuse me, a show that's happening somewhere in Italy? I must admit, because I don't have the reference right here in front of me, I can't tell you exactly where, but it's a show of Artemisia Gentileschi's work.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
And
Oh my
there's
God.
There's a rape room that is included in this exhibition that has gained such ire from the public because basically it erases the rapist work to a point of being seen and admired, whereas he was basically anonymous. And so it's a show that has really caused stir in Italy. So check it out. If you know, I wish I had some things to show you, but I don't. So what happened was an organization came in and covered up his paintings as a way of and spilled red paint on the floor and on the walls to protest the particular horror of a show, because it basically gives press to this guy who really doesn't deserve it because he raped Gentileschi at age 19. He was a friend of he's just one more Italian, well, whatever, no, it's a male brute who, you know, is trying to get, or they're trying to give his day, whatever. It's just, it's an offense that's happening right now. So,
I'd like to know more about him.
Yeah, I would too. I never heard of him.
She pressed charges. And
Yes.
so there's a whole
there was a whole
Vatican transcript of
Yes.
his trial.
Whoa.
And
So
they
there's
are
a lot of detail.
They have that taped in this room as part of the entertainment, if you want to call it that. Is that transcript is read? So I mean, it sounds like a horror of a room to go into.
Wow.
What's it called? What's it called? If I want to look it up.
Artemisia Gentileschi, Gentilesche or something like that. And her dates are like 1600s. Her father was an artist, and one of his friends decided he was going to take her when she was 19 and probably luscious, you know, like many men do. And so because she was no longer a virgin, her father pressed charges against this guy, and it became a major court case. And it was a big to do at that time. So it's sort of having its day again now. So Artemisia Gentileschi.
You look shocked, Walcott. You're just sitting there like, what?
No.
Okay, any other news or notes? Okay. Well, shall we say good night? It's
Thank
8:11.
you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
Michael, glad you were here.
Yeah. We'll see you next